Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. It makes me pleased to see that despite the fact that the global financial system is on fire, XRP and the rest of the crypto asset class are on the rise, led by Bitcoin. Indeed, recent events have been quite remarkable. Please allow me to provide you with a brief update. Even though I'm short on time, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to document the incredible price action we're witnessing today, with Bitcoin now above $28,000 and it continuing to respond well to banks getting bought out and government, making sure that depositors are made whole as the banking system on a global scale can just float down the river in a dumpster while on fire. In this short video, I'll provide some insights and observations from several analysts. But I do want to clarify something before we go any further. No, I don't come from a moneyed family. Nothing I say or write is not intended as investment advice, and you should not make any decisions based on it. Just a hobbyist here that occasionally posts films to YouTube on various crypto-related topics. For the time being, XRP is just below 39 cents. Earlier today, though, it had risen above 40 cents. Bitcoin's current price is $28,442, which is close to its 24-hour high of $28,479, which occurred only minutes ago. There is a market capitalization of over $1.20 trillion for this category of assets. Like ever. And Bitcoin's market share is growing, which is precisely what you'd hope to see from a recovery given that a 45.3% market share is about what you'd expect historically. This is the result of splitting the screen in half. Well, that is possible, at least to some extent. When Bitcoin's popularity peaked in 2017, for instance, that was when alt season began. I get what you mean. A different final tally, but the same general trend. I don't recall the exact figures, but Bitcoin's market share skyrocketed in 2017 before suddenly dropping. This was due to investors shifting their holdings from Bitcoin to other cryptocurrencies, such as XRP, which subsequently reached a record high price of almost $4. You noticed a similar trend in 2021, and while I agree that the magnitude was different, it followed the same general pattern. The Bitcoin market share surged as much as it could and is now declining. Hence, Bitcoin is out in front of the market, as was to be expected given its track record. Moreover, it is actually occurring. The value of Bitcoin, in dollars as well as in terms of market share, is skyrocketing. You need it because, once more, it will blend in with the rest of our possessions. It's great to see this happening. With a fear and greed index score of 63 out of 100, the cryptocurrency market is in an extreme state of greed. Along from that, there's this tweet from a fellow XRP YouTuber and blockchain supporter who simply stated, "This is awesome, man," at the same time when everyone was selling at rock-bottom prices. We understood. Indeed, you might say that. As we reached rock bottom, I didn't realize that I had actually reached the lowest point possible. A bottom exists for only a fraction of a second, thus it's pretty much impossible to reach it. That's not a reasonable expectation, then? But after the capitulation, I replied, "I don't know where the bottom is. It could fall any lower, but I see this as a capitulation event and am buying." And I believe it's safe to conclude at this point it was the bottom, as we are now, nearing the later part of March. That point was obviously the lowest point. Yet I still feel that we will see new lows if the economy crashes or if some other kind of unexpected black swan event occurs. It's always the case, though. We can count on that being the case forever. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies pose a threat to one's wealth. Got it? Other than that, though, the answer is no. Because of that, what you're witnessing even yesterday, I was talking about this. That is true even now. The fact that the government is making sure depositors are made whole, and the fact that, banks are being bought out by other banks, of course it bodes well for crypto, just reinforces the point even further that with crypto being risk on assets in general, including XRP. Do you believe Bitcoin, XRP, and other cryptocurrencies would be doing well if the government didn't protect investors and banks failed completely without being bought out by competitors? But I think not. A negative response seems self-evident to me at this point. Nevertheless, there are always others who would get on board a phony trend just because they can. As for the idea that banks are inherently unstable, I think that's just a myth. This suggests that Bitcoin prices will rise. What? I find myself repeating over and over again. Now we are at the nuance. There is more nuance to it than that. Many financial institutions are on fire, if not all. Yet the truth is that the government is intervening and that banks are buying up other banks. These risky assets are reflected in the market. That, then, is how I see it. And if anyone out there disagrees with me, that's fine too. But you're completely wrong. No. Even if you're wrong, I think it makes for an interesting discussion. Certainly, I can be convinced otherwise if you make a convincing argument. To be honest, I can't see it happening now. That is all I want to say. Chart Analyst has sent the following tweet: "Trustworthy cryptography. One of life's many pleasures is regaining consciousness to see that the Bitcoin price has increased since you last went to sleep." Yes, indeed, that's the case. Even if Bitcoin isn't my favorite cryptocurrency by a long shot, I'm still in support of it because I've held some since November 2017 and I know it's the leader. Markets. That's why I'm confident in the eventual success of the remainder of my crypto projects. So, this is the desired behavior and the type of behavior one would anticipate in a bull market. This makes my heart happy to behold. This is wonderful news for the entire crypto community. And then some bishop, what's his name, spoke to him. Bishop Sycamore, 85, expressed alarm in a letter that Bitcoin's dominance was too great, suggesting that the currency might back down. It appears he's referring to two distinct digital currencies. You're worried that Bitcoin's dominance will be too great and that alternative cryptocurrencies will underperform. To that extent, you're right. Confidence in the question and the cryptographic evidence. Answer: as this applies to XRP and other altcoins, I thought I'd call attention to this amazing crypto response and write most alts leg while Bitcoin surges. Coins like Track, which are stabilizing above significant support following clean breakouts, will be well positioned to move when Bitcoin's price declines. You need only exercise some patience. It is undeniably correct now. Since that's always been the case, I'll just have to be patient. I've been invested in cryptocurrencies for over 5 years but have yet to convert any of them into US dollars. Despite this, I don't feel the slightest bit of impatience coming from the Moon family sedan. I've been holding out for the chance to reincarnate as the Moon Lambo. Actually, that is what is going to occur. In my opinion, it will eventually occur. For that reason, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. If I have to sit here and outpatient every other human being on the planet, then that's what I'll do. I'll gladly help out. On the other hand, Will Clement, a supply chain expert, has written this is just a Bitcoin to US dollar chart that he shared with us, by the way. According to him, Bitcoin hasn't had a week like this one since April of this year, when the price jumped from $3,000 to $14,000. I'm ecstatic to get it back. This, meanwhile, came from a well-known, what would you call her? Similarly to how she evaluates a wide range of financial topics. That's Genevieve, by the way. Roach Doctor. I think I'm going to butcher that last name. CFA with the hearts of her 366,000 fans breaking, she tweeted the following. According to the sources cited by the Financial Times, UBS has reached an agreement to acquire Credit Suisse for more than $2 billion. Friday, Credit Suisse's market cap was $7 billion. I'm no mathematician, but if you ask me, $7 billion on Friday seems awfully close to $7 billion on Tuesday. Finally, it sold today for $2 billion, which is a record for the company. Certainly, this is having a really positive effect on the markets. That's exactly my point in all of this. This is why I think most people have a skewed understanding of Bitcoin. Sorry, banks are burning and crumbling. This is why Bitcoin's value is so high. Absolutely not. Here, we're getting down to brass tacks. This is because they're receiving excellent treatment. Just like it is. They are on fire as they crumble. That much, yes, we can agree on. But these customers' needs are being met by the market's other banks, which only serves to bolster the megabank's position. In addition, the government is merely doing what is expected of it by guaranteeing that depositors would be returned their initial investments in full. Not only that, but financial institutions rely on trust. It won't fly with the government. Naturally, they are not. If that means avoiding inflation, then so be it. They have no intention of letting it crumble. The building is burning down. So they are not going to simply be like, yes, we're just not going to bail out anybody. There is the potential for complete chaos. When that happens, you can't call yourselves a nation. This is not something they will do. That's why I can't stop stressing the importance of dispelling the widespread misconceptions about this topic. Here, though, is a CNN banner headline. Attempting to put an end to the financial crisis, UBS acquires Credit Suisse. To calm the financial markets after the collapse of two American banks earlier this month, Switzerland's largest bank, UBS, has decided to buy its troubled rival, Credit Suisse. The Swiss National Bank said in a statement that UBS had announced its intention to acquire Credit Suisse earlier today. The Swiss federal government, the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Body, and the Swiss National Bank all provided support for the takeover, the central bank noted. According to the report, the rescue would, quote, maintain financial stability and defend the Swiss economy, end quote. UBS is paying between $3 and $3.25 billion CHF for Credit Suisse, or approximately 60% less than the bank was worth as of Friday's market closing. Shareholders of Credit Suisse will be devastated, with each UBS share for every 22.5 Credit Suisse shares they already own. Yikes. Because of the extraordinary measures taken by the Swiss authorities to ensure a speedy closing of the sale, it will not be necessary to obtain shareholder approval. This is mind-blowing information. In all seriousness, this is the case. Speculators in the cryptocurrency market therefore find this to their liking, as it prevents the banks from entirely collapsing. The cryptocurrency market would suffer if banks were genuinely failing and depositors weren't being protected. In today's date, no. Perhaps things will alter and cryptocurrencies will be viewed differently in the future, but in the 14 years since their inception, that has never been the case. Yeah, that's the way it is. This is perfectly fine with me. What, you don't find that funny? As in the Russell Crowe film Gladiator. Is that not enough to entertain you? I enjoy this. Whoa, you've got me stoked about this stuff. Happiness prevails at the present moment. I feel very fortunate to be working in the field of cryptography. I get why most people can't deal with the uncertainty. Hence, regular investors and traders should stay away from these markets. Remember back to last November. There was a sudden flurry of selling activity, and I resolutely told the sellers they could keep their panic profits. No problem, I'll buy your apprehension. In contrast to that point in time, I'm now far higher. Really enjoying myself here. Just kidding, but have you started having fun yet? The reason being that I'm having a good time doing this. Given that there is no such thing as an infinitely rising line, you can take heart even if things go poorly to the downside. Okay. And if the price drop is enough to convince me to buy, that is. Well, that makes sense. Make me pay again by twisting my arm. That being said, I don't mind the occasional baby boo-boo because this is such a beautiful time. And finally, I'll just repeat that here for the last time. Unless some unforeseen event causes widespread market chaos and economic slowdown, we shouldn't be too concerned. In the absence of a black swan event, the upward trend in cryptocurrency is likely to persist. That's the scenario I see most often, at least. Nonetheless, if I am mistaken, I will happily admit it. But I've been stating this for several months. That's the most likely scenario, anyway. And on top of that, for XRP holders probably about to get a lot better because we're going to get a ruling very soon in the SEC versus Ripple case. I'm here for it. This cryptocurrency has been a rocket ship this year. In any case, I can't predict the future, but if the rumored news turns out to be true, XRP might skyrocket in value when it finally hits the public eye. In a figurative sense, of course, it's possible, though I can't say with absolute certainty, that we'll also receive some terrible news. I don't pretend to be an expert on the stock market. Neither what I say nor what I write should be used as a basis for making any financial transactions. In end, please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.